How's everybody? This dip ain't no jokers. Welcome back to Strongman Personal Finance. My name is Christopher Belly. I'm a certified CPA accountant. I'm a long-term mogulhead investor. I'm author of the book Stop Being a Broke Loser. It's on Amazon. Links in the description. And I'm starting to crap my freaking pants because I'm looking at my investment portfolio and it's getting freaking wrecked. Left, right, and center. And no joke, you're actually looking at my investment portfolio. 95% of my money is basically in the Vanguard Total World Stock ETF. And over the last 3 months, it's down 11%. And it may just keep dipping and dipping and dipping and dipping. Why? There's a lot of crap going on. Ukraine, oil prices, blah, 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 blah. Whatever. I don't really care, to be honest. I don't have to analyze the market day to day. But if y'all are wondering how I'm feeling about this recent dip in the VT ETF, I'm going to tell you, I'm actually really excited about what's coming in the future. As a matter of fact, I hope this thing goes to 70, 60, 50, 40, 30, maybe even 20 or 10. And I'm not joking about that either. Now, this recent dip in the market has been eliciting a lot of BS on YouTube. And I want to tell you that you need to calm down, you need to buy VT, and you need to chill. Now, YouTube's all about showmanship and getting clicks. That's what it's all about, okay? It's not about teaching you good financial advice. And it's true. That statement is true because you look, and the most dominant channels are the one that teach you the most garbage. Go look at the biggest freaking finance YouTube channels and listen to what they say. They preach complete and utter trash. And you know who I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen. However, if you're not listening to these YouTubers, if you have the long-term perspective, something like this, especially if you're not going to retire in 30 or 40 years, is a freaking godsend. Now, I do want to admit something, okay? Every January 1st, or 2nd or 3rd, whenever the market's open, I immediately invest $6,000 into my IRA and my wife's IRA. Now, my fill price in the most recent purchase was about $108 for the VT ETF. So I'm down, a good $15 or more since I purchased the VT ETF. That's a pretty big loss, huh? Well, guess what? I do that every freaking year. Some years, you're going to get a good fill where maybe the market's down. Some years, you're going to get screwed like I did, where I bought this ETF and it goes ahead and drops, a pretty penny. I'm probably down 15% on that purchase. But I don't give a crap because I have the long view, all right? Now, some YouTubers will try to convince you, Jeremy Financial Education, that they're long-term investors because they buy stocks and they have a 3 to 5 year time horizon. In my opinion, that's not long enough. You need to have decades of time horizon. That is how you actually build wealth. Because when you think in decades, maybe even centuries, that's when you really stop caring about anything that's going on in the market. Now, I could come on here and I can make a YouTube video, multiple videos every day, just covering the latest news and, doing panic thumbnails and, getting people to watch my channel because that pays the big money. But I can't do that because it's just not who I am. I do not care about what happens in the short term of the market. All right. We have a lot of volatility. Okay. The market is, I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, it could keep going down and down and down and down. And God help us, if there's World War III, who knows what will frickin' happen to the global stock market? The sad thing is if there is a World War III, that might actually be a great buying opportunity, but also a lot of people would die. And also, by the way, I'm in the military too, so I'd probably be activated and go sent to fight in the trenches in China or something. Get blown in half by a Chinese missile. I don't even know what their weapons are called. A T-90 would blow me in half. So I'm not wishing for World War III. But if World War III were to happen, you know what I would be doing? I would be throwing every freaking dime I possibly freaking could into the VT ETF, okay? I would work even more than I do now to get more money to buy more VT. Because I truly believe this, that in 30, 40, or 50 years, the world is going to be a much, much wealthier and better place. And if that's what you believe, if you believe that, you don't need to care about what's going on day to day, okay? So I look at this, I'm like, all right, I'm down 15% of my Roth purchase, but I'm also up probably 100% from when I initially started purchasing the VT ETF more than 10 years ago, okay? And back then, I didn't care. I didn't look at my portfolio at all back then. I literally went to work, drank beer on the weekends, and partied my face off. And I focused on saving instead of worrying about the market. And it paid massively. Now, some of you may think it's sad because I'm not a millionaire. Well, guess what? I'm one of the most honest, transparent YouTubers out there. No, I'm not a freaking millionaire. But I will be. 100% guaranteed. There's no doubt in my mind. I will be a millionaire. But I'm not one of those clowns on YouTube that thinks they're going to get rich quick. 5 seconds, bro. Because I don't believe that's the case. I don't believe you can do that. You can get lucky, like the Dogecoin doucheneer, and he screwed it up. But if you're an average person, you're not going to get rich quick. You're not going to get rich quick. The only way to build wealth in the long run is to match your tax advantage accounts and buy total world index funds. And the lower the indexes go, the more you want to buy. That's it. Plain and freaking simple. There is no alternative, okay? You can pay these clowns 20 grand. You can watch the market. You can learn about economics. And I mean, I've had times where I've just like done deep dives into economics. You know, I read pop-up books, stuff like that. And while it did increase my knowledge of the market and of the world, it didn't improve my investment performance. As a matter of fact, reading freaking crap like that and trying to analyze stocks has probably hurt my investment performance. We'll see. We'll see what Baba does. But you need to stay the course, okay? If this market keeps dipping, it's going to expose the true frauds in the market. This dip, if it keeps dipping, is going to make or break you. If you sell because you bought, a couple months ago, VT or whatever, and you sell and you try to buy the best performing index recently, you've failed. You've completely freaking failed. You cannot you cannot have your will break when times like this happen. I've been looking forward to this for a long, long time, and I hope it keeps dipping. And I am not scared in the slightest because I am an optimist. I believe the world's going to be a better place. Now, if you're doomer and gloomer and, oh my God, inflation and Biden and global war, the stock market's going to crash. Okay, you can believe that and go buy your penny stocks, but that's not me, okay? Think about this. We've survived World War I, World War II, which completely decimated Europe and large parts of the world, the Cold War, where half the world was under communism, and our global economy has still thrived and has exploded massively, okay? We've still overcome all those massive obstacles after all that BS that happens. So if we have World War III, as long as we don't use nukes and blow ourselves to smithereens, then you'd be screwed. If World War III happens and 100 million people die, I still think we're going to recover and we're still going to be better off in 20, 30, or 40 years. Now, if you don't believe me, let's look at some economic data, okay? Now, this is actually kind of a short term. Well, actually, it's really not short term. But this is a chart, a graph of global gross domestic product, that's spending, or, that's the economy, GDP, at current prices from 1985 to 2026. So it shows the history of how the global economy has grown and what it's projected to grow in the future. You may not believe it's going to keep growing like they have it on here, but I think it's going to grow somewhat. Now, if you look back at 1985, which was not that long ago. I was born in 1989. I know I'm old. The global economy was, $12.5 trillion. In 1985, that is not that long ago. The global financial crisis happens a couple decades in the future. Now we're up to 60 trillion, okay? The pandemic happened. Oh, now the global economy was $84 trillion. So from the financial crisis, where all the stock markets melted down and we almost collapsed, oh, everybody needs a home, it was 60 trillion, and now it's 84 trillion in 2020, roughly, okay? And it's projected, and I don't know if this is the case, but I believe it's going to grow. It's projected by 2026 that the global economy is going to be $127 trillion. So let's see roughly how much the global economy is going to grow. 127 trillion divided by what? 84? It's going to grow by 50%, which, I don't know, that seems kind of crazy to me, in the next 5-6 years. Okay, actually less, 4 years. I don't know. We'll see. But it's definitely going to grow, okay? So all this crap that's going on, you look at this chart, and you can believe it or you can't. I think the economy's going to keep growing. And you say, okay, the global economy may grow 50%, it may grow 30%. And then you look at what VT's doing, which represents the globe. I mean, it's got a lot of U.S. stocks in it, but it's the most global ETF you can get. And it's going down. The economy's growing, and the VT ETF is going down. It's almost like there's an issue here. It's almost like the price of VT is not reflecting the growth of the economy. There's some kind of variance there. It's almost like VT isn't trading at its intrinsic value. Interesting. Can you not see how this doesn't freaking matter? And if we think about what the global economy is going to be in 2040, we got Tesla bots everywhere, and we got, I don't know, I can't even say it. We got all sorts of amazing stuff. Okay, think of 2040. I can't even imagine what kind of technology we're going to have in just 18 years. I mean, I remember the days when I had dial-up internet connection, okay? And now I have a phone. I have a freaking iPhone. And I can surf the web, watch YouTube videos, I can upload videos, I can FaceTime with people. And it's only been 20 freaking years. It's crazy how much we've progressed. And to think about where we're going to be 20, 30 years in the future blows my mind, okay? So none of this crap bothers me in the slightest, right? And another reason, I own a global ETF. Now, people, VT went down and the U.S. stock market went up. Let's look at 2,000 years of economic history in one chart. All major powers compared by GDP from the year 1 AD. Now, I don't know how they got the data from that long ago, but some of the data is pretty, well, I guess I don't know what they freaking did, but you can see on the bottom here, this blue is the United States. Now, as you can tell, the blue is shrinking, almost like the United States is becoming a smaller piece of the global economy. And if you look at the past, look at what the major superpowers were. China and India, because they got a lot of freaking people, and they still have a lot of freaking people. Going into the future, I think China, India, the United States. I don't know about Japan, but the European Union. I think China and India are going to be massively more profitable. They're going to be much greater economically than they are now, okay? I think the United States will be a smaller and smaller piece of the global GDP. We only have, 330 million people here, and there's like 7 or 8 billion people in the world right now. That's why I own a global freaking ETF, okay? You can disagree with me because U.S. stocks went up over the last 10 years a lot faster than other indices. But if you really think about it in the long run, do you really think the United States stock market should represent 65% of the world's market cap when we're a shrinking share of global GDP? I don't, but that's your decision. So looking at this, keeping this in mind, global growth of GDP, I mean, we have all these crises, disasters, and still our economy is growing. Don't worry about war. Don't worry about the dip. Don't freaking stress it, okay? VT can keep going down. You can be, yeah, I bought VT because I like your videos and it went down. Okay, it doesn't matter. Keep buying it. That's the whole point. Stay the course, dollar cost average. Don't change your strategy. Stay consistent. Max your tax advantage accounts. And you're going to be okay. Or maybe not. Maybe we'll all die in a nuclear holocaust. But that's my rant for the night. I'm going to go watch some Space Force. Some new episodes came out with, I don't even know his name, Michael Scott. It's a good show. Anyway, that's it. Hope you like, subscribe, tell your friends about me, and y'all have a wonderful, delicious, superstitious, cockalicious night. Choo!